And welcome back to my kitchen. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to toss this recipe into the garbage. Just kidding. Actually, we're only going to switch it up for today because I have my sourdough starter that I want to get active again for stuff, and I want to make some bagels with it. So I thought you guys would enjoy doing this with me. So I have, I'm using the recipe from the Clever Carrot, which I've actually done this recipe once before. I've had some success. So I'm excited to do it again with you guys watching. So what I have already everything mise en place over here. I have the flour. I like using that word, by the way, mise en place. I heard it on Selena and Chef once, and I just whenever I can use it, I definitely do. I feel so fancy when I do. Okay, it says to whisk together the starter, water, sugar with a fork. So the starter, this guy. So this guy, I didn't separate it, but it says to use, where is it? Oh, 150 grams. So we're going to put 150 grams into the water. So now I'm going to add the yeast and the sugar. This is sugar. We're using a different salt today. So in the recipe book, I have been using coarse kosher salt, but now this recipe calls for fine sea salt. So I have some fine sea salt here, and let me grab a little whisk, my dough whisk, so I can mix this guy up. Mix, mix, mix. Alright, and I'm just gonna have him sitting there. Okay. Just gonna keep that in there. Alright, and now I can actually feed my starter. So I'm not following a video, so I'm still keeping the same process, where instead of following a video to do a recipe, I'm reading the recipe. All right, so I mixed it together, add the flour and salt. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a little I guess I like to call it like the opening of an active volcano, or you know, that little hole that you make in the flour that you use that you do with pasta. I'm doing the same thing so that I can feed this in there, and then I'm going to cover it up and add the salt. Doing that. I know this is gonna get a little thick because I believe I have to knead it at some point. So let me just use my dough scraper. Oh, I need to add the salt. You know, I like separating everything into little containers. I got these at the Dollar Tree actually, so they were only $1.25. I like separating everything into containers, but honestly the process to clean is just that much more. It's not as fun, honestly. All right, so let me see. Let me read while I do this. It says, it's important to use a large mixing bowl that is strong and rises quite high as a mixing bowl. use a stand mixer fitted with the dough hook. Now I don't have a stand mixer, so we're gonna do this by hand, and I'm not gonna bore you guys with having to watch me knead it by hand. So I am going to do it off camera, but I'm going to knead it for 10 minutes by hand, which is gonna be a workout. Look at this guy. See how it's crumbling apart? I'm going to trust the process and not add more water. Bread is just the trust the process kind of experience it, because honestly, I feel like I'm constantly doubting if this is going to work. Now I'm just trying to like get it really incorporated in there. It's very shaggy. I love kneading dough just because I like seeing when it like goes from being a rough shaggy ball to actually becoming a smooth, nice surface. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it over and dump it here. Now this is a clean surface. I did clean it. I sanitized it with vinegar because I just feel like, you know, sanitizing with anything that's not vinegar for food grade stuff, it just doesn't seem safe. Like, I'm scared of putting chemicals, like cleaning products, into my food. Alright, so let me just knead it. Let's knead it. Knead it. Alright. I'm not really good at this kneading stuff, honestly. I'm new to this, but I don't really have a technique. It's just move the dough, get it going, incorporate it. And so I'm gonna. Honestly, this is kind of a little too tough. I think I'm gonna add a little more water, a little bit of water, get that moisture in there. But it is getting to be more moist, but obviously it's still very tough. So I'm just gonna. You know what? I guess that's why they say to use the stand mixer, because this is strong and rises quite high. This dough is strong. And it feels pretty strong, to be honest. Alright. So, I think this dough looks good. I'm going to keep kneading it for 10 minutes so that it gets nice and smooth. And once it gets to that consistency, I'll show it to you guys. Ten minutes have passed. I have kneaded the dough. Look at it. It is so much more smooth. It looks so good. Okay, now the recipe does state to throw it into a bowl and to cover it with a very damp towel and let it rest for 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to let it rest. Spray some water on it because it says a damp towel, but I thought it'd be fun to like spray some water so I don't have to really damp up the towel. And I'm gonna use this towel right here. Alright, and then I'm just gonna put it over here. And I'll come back in 45 minutes. I'm so winded from that. I felt like a workout. Okay, so I'm back. We got our dough here. Look at it. It was sitting here. It sat for 45 minutes. It's still has some volume. I do think I am going to need to wet a towel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet a paper towel, cover it with that. It says to let it sit overnight. So I'm going to let it sit on the counter overnight for 10 to 12 hours is what it says to do. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to come in the morning, shape it. Um, and into like little bagel shapes. I've cleared a spot in the fridge for the bagels to go in so that they can rest all day tomorrow. And then the following day, we'll just boil them, maybe decorate them because I have seen some images of people drawing on dough and then baking it. And I'm just curious to see how that would look. So we'll boil them and then stick them in the oven. It's going to be a longer process, but I hope that it does taste worth it. So I'm gonna cover it and then I'll come back to this tomorrow, okay?
So it is now the next day. We have let the dough sit in the bowl overnight. It has doubled in size. It is looking a lot more moist than it was looking yesterday, and I think that's because of the wet towel that was on top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out of this bowl, dump it onto the counter, and shape it into six bagels because I want to make them a little big. So normally I would shape them into eight. I want to make them a little bigger, so I'm going to do six bagels. I think that's what she normally has this recipe makes. Eight bagels. Yep, I'm going to shape them into six because I want nice bigger bagels. So I have my wet dough scraper. We're at 1,323. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump this on here and subtract the weight of the empty bowl to get, okay, all right, so I'm going to put this guy on here so that I can divide this dough, and I want it to be 138 approximately. So I'm just going to take this, cut it into sixes. I think that needs a little more. And we want it to be approximately 138. These three are a little smaller, these are a little bigger. Not by much. Okay, so what she says to do, and I'm gonna put this on here so that I can have them proof inside of this. I think that might be too small, so I might need a bigger baking sheet. Let me grab a bigger baking sheet. I just decided to use two, which is going to work because I actually want to I want to paint these, and so because I want to paint them, I want to try two different techniques to see which is going to give me a better painting on the actual dough. So I want to paint half of them before I boil them and half of them after I boil them. So this is going to give me a good idea to see what is the best method. All right. So now in the Clever Carrots baking instructions, she indicates to roll them into a ball, pierce a hole in, and then, round it out to make the bagel. I like to do my technique a little different. I like just because I've watched a lot of behind the scenes from different New York bakers, and I know that what they do is what the professional bagel makers is they make a ring by making a log of the dough, and then they wrap it like that and they seal it like that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to throw some semolina flour onto my baking sheets so that the dough doesn't stick overnight as it proofs. last one, and it's sealed. All right, and I'm gonna throw it on here, and I'm just going to cover them in cling wrap and throw them in the fridge, and they'll be there all day until tomorrow, just cold proofing.
Hey guys, I'm back. We have let the bagels sit in the fridge for 24 hours. So they have bulk fermented, and now they've done their cold proof process. I'm gonna pull 3 of them out because we made 6. I'm gonna pull 3 out and we're gonna paint them. I have here set up a few different paints so that we can paint them and see how it turns out. I have some painting pens here. I have some food coloring, different colors. I think I want to try doing some poppy flowers. I'm just going to let them cool for a little bit. I'm actually going to go ahead and start getting the water ready to boil the bagels, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the water on the stove here. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, it's there. Okay. To the water, I'm going to add, let me just tie my hair up so I don't have hair all over the place. So to the water, I'm going to add some honey, and I'm going to add some baking soda. I know that in New York, they do add lye to the water. I don't have lye. I don't even know where to get lye. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I'm doing this as a hobby. I'm not a professional bakery. So I'm going to add honey and baking soda to the water. It already looks like it's bubbling. I'm assuming that's because of the baking soda. I'm just gonna rinse my hands off because I did touch my hair. Okay, so we're ready to paint. Now, I have my brushes here. I have them sitting in water. Let me set them up here. I have them sitting in water because I did see that some people say to dilute the paint prior to starting. I'm going to do a white coat on top just to make those colors really pop. So I'm using my white food coloring to get started. Wow, I thought this white was going to be going a lot quicker, but it is looking a lot nicer. Imagine we just make some ghostly colored bagels. No, I wonder what they would have looked like if I would have left them fermenting all night. I'm sorry, if I would have painted them before doing the cold proof. That would have been a fun experiment. Maybe I should have done 2 and done 2 today, and then 2 painted 2 this morning prior to boiling them, and then painted 2 after boiling them. But coulda, shoulda, woulda, we didn't, so here we are painting them all now. I'm gonna dip this back in here just to get it cleaned up. I might use it, I might not. Okay, and so I think I'm gonna do the middle part yellow. I'm just making sure my water isn't boiling over it. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one to do the middle parts. I'll use this guy. So I'm just gonna do some yellow circles here. I don't really like how that yellow looks there, so let me try another one. Oh, I thought I got some on my counter. I have a paper towel, so I'm just, okay. Let me see if I want to use another yellow. This is a bright yellow. Neon bright orange. I don't want, okay, let's try this Georgia peach one.
going to boil this. I'm going to start boiling it bottom down. Oh, the paint is coming off of it. Oh gosh, this is a little scary. Let's turn this so that you could see it. Okay. I think I'm not gonna boil it for the full extent of the time, but I think if it does, I don't like how it looks, I might just start boiling the other ones. That's what it looks like. Oh, it doesn't look as pretty, guys. Oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna throw it on here. And I think because the first one didn't turn out as nicely, oh no, the color's running all over the place. I'm going to just boil the other ones. I'm a little worried about the color of the water. I mean, I know it's just water, but I feel like it might dye the bagels a different color, but we're gonna throw those down face. So I am going to boil these before I paint them because I didn't like the way this one looks. If you see it, I'm going to pull it towards you. You see it looks not as pretty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to boil them, but I thought I'd show you what they look like before they boil and afterwards. And I'm not sure if these are going to boil as nicely because it seems like maybe they got too cold in the fridge because this part right here looks a little solid, but we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so I pulled them out. I boiled both of them. So I am going to color them before baking them. This is the one that has been. You see, it doesn't look as nice. I am going to keep them on separate plates or trays so that I am able to work around each bagel without having to move them. So I'm just going to start painting them now. I'm going to use this one for the white, and I'm going to go back over with a white coat on these two. This one, I think, let me just touch up that first one. the bagels. They're all painted. I did this one a little abstract just because I wanted to see the effects of some of the colors in the oven. Um, this one didn't come out as good because I didn't put a white base and I just wanted to see how it would look. In the beginning, it was starting to look good. And let me show you what I'm talking about. This one. It initially looked nice, but as I started to play with it, it didn't look as nice. So I made sure to put a white base on all of them. Uh, there's some of them that have the white base prior to boiling and some of them that do not. So this one right here, actually, I added afterwards, and I think that might be my favorite bagel. Um, So I'm going to pop them in the oven for about 15 seconds just so that the dye dries a little bit, and then I'm going to put an egg wash on them. So I'm going to be doing quick movements. I'm not going to capture that on film, but you'll see the bagels once they come out. So I'm going to put the egg wash on them, then I'm going to leave them in the oven for 20 minutes, and I'll come back and show you what they look like. 2 days in, and we are at the home stretch. We are ready to get these bagels out of the oven. So they were sitting in there for 20 minutes. I did take a peek. Alexa, dismiss timer. And I'm just going to pull them out of the oven. Look at them. Oh, you can't see them. Look at that. Now, that's one. Two. Now, we did have some release of air in some of them. Hold on, let me just put these down. Turn off the oven. And I'm going to pull them onto the cooling rack so that they cool down, just because I get scared that they're going to get soggy on the bottom. Now, they're not going to do that immediately right now because they're straight out of the oven. But if you can see, we do have some of them that did kind of explode a little bit. The artwork is still on there. It's looking really nice. They're shiny. They look nice. Look at this one right here. I think it's my favorite one, and I thought it was my favorite one before. So they're still vibrant. They look nice. I'm pretty excited about them. There are some really nice looking bagels. Actually, this was the one that I liked a lot. Look at it. That was the first one that we made. This is the one that this one right here is the one that we boiled. We painted, boiled, then painted again. So, um, you know, you can't really see what happened to the artwork, but it is a little messy. It is a little bit messy, but it looks good. This is the one that I did just to see the coloration, and I'm not mad about it. I wouldn't just do that that golden brown that we did. And honestly, here it goes. Okay, and this is the bagel right here. The bagel that I painted without having any white on it whatsoever. So you can see the differences of the bagels. They do look really good. So I am happy about them. I'm excited. I'm to eat one. Well, thank you for joining me in this 3-day long, for me, for you guys, I don't know how long it's been, but thank you for staying to the end of the video. And I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me. I definitely enjoyed talking to you guys. It's a lot funner talking to someone as I'm cooking versus sitting here by myself. So thank you for being here.